Recently I spoke about a camera which has an enormous following, and that is the Nikon L135A. It's a great camera. It was one of the first automatic focusing compacts on the market, but it is difficult to get hold of and very expensive. Now, 2 years after Nikon had introduced the 35, it introduced a L135, which is this camera here, which is a cheaper version. It's a compact camera. It was the original US price, I think, was $92. So it wasn't the cheapest of cameras, but compared to the L35, it was a cheaper priced camera, and this is reflected definitely in the build quality and functions. However, let's see what this camera has to offer. Now, as you can see, initially we very much see a 1980s design. We've got this sort of minimalistic but with some decoration. You could almost describe it as slightly postmodern. We've got this sharp red line around the lens, and the camera to use is straightforward. We insert the film in the back. I was going to say it's DX coded. It's not DX coded, which is a feature of this camera, I think. So you insert the camera in the back. On the front you have the ISO setting, and it's an interesting fact here that we still have the old ASA, which was for American Standards Association, and we have stroke ISO, International Standard Organization. I might in the future do a whole YouTube on how film was rated. But in this case, as I said, it's ISA, ISO here, and the choices are 100, 400 and 1000. So we are a bit limited. In the 70s, a Kodachrome 64 was a slide film which was used a lot in rangefinder cameras and SLRs. And it's significant, I think, that by 1984, the main market was using not slide film but colour prints, and this is very much, I think, a camera which would be designed for someone who was perhaps taking films of colour prints, for colour prints. So we have the automatic focusing. You can see the two windows up here. We have a very handy flash. Unfortunately, I found out that on this particular camera the flash isn't working, but the rest of the camera worked very nicely. On the top we see the number L135AF, model number, fully automatic. We have the button, shutter button, and of course the indicator of how many frames we are on. A feature that I've noticed on here, which I haven't seen on any other Nikons, is how you wind back the film. A lot of compacts, it just automatically winds at the end. On this one, at the end of the film, you depress this little button here and you turn that, and that will then automatically wind the film. So that's a slightly different method there. And that is basically it. It's a lightweight camera. It fits nicely in the hand. It is just point and shoot. You've got no red eye. You've got no other device or setting on the camera. It's 35mm, so moderately wide-angled, great for parties, etc. It's a 4-element 3.5 lens, so not the fastest of lenses, but not a bad lens. So let's see how I got on when I actually used the camera. It was a slightly dull day when I took these photographs, and I wasn't sure about the outcome. However, it seems fine. The camera performed well in that the images are sharp. I am shooting here in Dorchester, not far from where I live, and as you can see, this of the old right heart is quite sharp. as I said, the conditions are great and the whole film is a little bit flat. I'm pretty sure I used my normal Forma Pan 100 developed in ID 11. The camera is interesting when compared to the RF10, which came later and is a cheaper camera. You might have thought that the results were going to be similar. Actually, this, I would say, is closer to the L35 than the RF. The RF I had quite a few issues with. This is absolutely fine. If we see the sharpness of our car, we can clearly see the number plate. The angle of the lens makes it very useful. There's a little bit of aberration going on there, but I think actually this is a very user camera. If you want something purely as a point and shoot, we haven't got the luxury of being able to put a filter onto this camera, or even being able to freeze the focal point at any point. It's what it says on the tin, it's a point and shoot, and because it's quite a lot cheaper than the L35, maybe it's a camera that we wouldn't worry about putting in a backpack and using. I was actually quite satisfied with this camera and would recommend one if you find one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.